in studio. We'll be joined at some time by the Honorable Balaam Barugahara himself. He's been running barazas in Pakwach district today. He'll be joining us at some time. As the moment we are able to get to him, we will switch discussions and go to the discussion about his corruption fight. In the studio right now, we have a frontliner, political philosopher, advocate of the courts of judicature, and former member of parliament for Aru County, Odonga, Samuel Otto. Very nice to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. Just a kind reminder, because of Pan-Africanism, I abandoned the name Samuel 10 years ago. I even saw an affidavit and it was advertised in the newspaper. So my right name is Odonga Otto. Yeah.
Very nice to have you.
Yeah.
I have from the NRM Secretariat, Director of Communication, former Member of Parliament, the Honorable Emanuel Dombo. Very nice to have you.
It's a pleasure to meet once again, Charles, and for you to be here from the trenches of Rahia. And I think the public has been missing you.
Thank you very much. And we'll be joined at some time by another guest. I will introduce him as soon as he gets into studio. I want to start with you, the Honorable Emanuel Dombo. The situation this country finds itself in is almost a political conundrum. The main opposition leader who participated, whose party scored the highest in the last two elections, 2026 and 2021, Bobby Wine, or Robert Senta Muchagulanyi, is in exile. The other major opposition leader, who was the leading opposition candidate in 2001, 2006, 2011, Kizza Besigye, is sick and incarcerated. But the country is running on. And people have been asking and saying, should at this point, there are many others who are facing trial. You have people like Mwanga Chivumbi, you have young men like Samuel Mugumya, you have other leaders from especially NUP and the general political opposition. They face different charges. So we'll not go into the details of the charges they face because we want to navigate carefully around the question of sub judice. But do you think, from where you sit, that a political dialogue to resolve this country, and I must put a disclaimer, people have told me that my questions are very long sometimes, I give them long backgrounds, but when the party your party, the NRM party, has just come out of an election, victorious, is this time to be discussing a national dialogue, do you think?
Charles, I've been in politics for some time.
That's why I started with you.
I entered the parliament when I was about 35 years. I was slightly above than that. And I spent a whole 20 years in the parliament of Uganda. And the nature and quality of politics since that time has progressively kept deteriorating. And I kept wondering as a person, isn't it time for us to de-escalate? When you look at the language that leaders use against one another, when you look at how the names and the references they make to... Recently, I had my daughter's wedding. And I invited my friend with whom we had been in parliament for a very long time. But now he's in the National Unity Platform. And I invited him to come and join us to celebrate as family. And he said he's going to consult first before he makes a decision.
On whether to appear?
On whether to appear.
At your private function?
At my private function. And this morning I had a chat with the treasurer of the National Unity Platform. We met in a public forum at a meeting place, and I said, but you people, isn't it high time for us to de-escalate? And I gave that as an example. And he also qualified it and said, but he was right, because supposing he was just sitting at your function, you just don't know the wrath that would have followed that participation. In the past, if I went to Aru or to Kitgum district, I would conveniently go and spend the night at Honorable Otto's place, even when he was FDC. We recently went for a by-election in the previous parliament in Oyam. And I said, why should I sleep in a hotel when my brother Ben Wacha has a house? And I rang Ben Wacha, who told me, go to my sister is at home, she will give you a key to my house. And we thought politics is just brotherhood. When Honorable Nabira was roughed up by the police in the Owino market during her work, it is me, an NRM member, who raised the motion on the floor for us to set up an inquisition into that matter. I didn't celebrate because she was in the FDC and the FDC was being molested. But when you look at the way business is being conducted in Parliament over the years now, you find that people are being more secluded, and everything is becoming private to individuals or selective organizations, contrary to the common good that politics is meant to be.
What has gone wrong, in your view?
I think progressively...
You called it a deterioration. What has gone wrong?
I think the mindset. First of all, when my brother, Honorable Besige, first came in, you know, when he was going to launch his break off from the NRM, and he went to launch...
Reform agenda?
The reform agenda at the Sheraton Hotel. All of us went and attended. Even when we were dissuaded. I remember Honorable Shinobe, who was the chairman of NRM caucus in Parliament, coming and talking to me and says, Dombo, make sure you don't go to attend. We said, why not? Let us go and attend and listen to what Besige says, because we have not been part of that team and we don't know what they have been doing. After listening to him, we made an evaluation and said, fine, there is reason in what he's raising, but the way he's doing it is not calling on collective action for people to move together. So over the years, I think the level of tolerance has gone down. People tolerate one another, but also the emerging leadership of various political organizations, especially the new one. They have got a philosophy of not wanting to associate with President Museveni. They don't want to mention the name. Look at iPod. The FDC, the other parties, we have been members of the iPod, even when they have been disagreeing with the way things have been done. But there is an organization which came, and the first statement they made, they said for them, they're not going to be part of iPod, and they cannot be, they're not interested in taking...
Are you referring to FDC or National Interplatform?
The National Interplatform. The National Interplatform. When they made that statement, even before they have even participated to know the nature of business and what transpires there. So I said, under the circumstances, is this the politics we're building? I'm happy that now they have reflected and agreed as an organization to come and to apply to join the iPod. And this is very good and will promote dialogue. And at personal level, either in the House, we should encourage opportunities that create opportunities for across the IO business, so that people can talk to one another, people can refer to one another with respect, but also that whatever we are doing as a people, we do it for the national good.
Odonga, let me come to you. You served for 20 years, at the same time Dombo was in Parliament, and you were on the opposition, the political opposition. What has gone wrong? Or do you think there is any problem, really, that should force a national dialogue? People in the NRM will say, we just won an election. We performed better than the previous election. We have our numbers in Parliament. We have our numbers in local government. Just allow us to work. Others are saying, wait a minute, let's have a dialogue. In a political contestation, you'd imagine the winner, give them 5 years, go back into the race? Is there a need at this point to call for a national dialogue?
I joined Parliament at 23. It's the only place I've worked. And my dad kept reminding me I would be unemployable after Parliament. And I think he's right. And I saw these laws passing. As a student activist, we were advocating for the return of multipartism and removing Article 269, I think, then from the Constitution, which was restricting activities of political parties. We saw the referendum to return the political parties. The first one aborted, I think, in 2006, 2001. Then it succeeded in 2005. Yeah. And before that, I was in an individual merit parliament. We used to be with, there was the freedom among MPs. I went up to the fundraising of Honorable Dorabia Mokama in the West. I went to another fundraising in a school in Kichwamba in Kasese. We felt like a community. You would crisscross and go to the function of any MP without attachments. Now, even the parliamentary canteen collapsed immediately. Multipartism returned, because if you are taking your beer, you should now know that the next NRM or the next opposition is close to you. We used to drink there those days. I was not yet a teetotaler. Everyone was there. Tafire, Kazora, the late, rest in peace. It was a center of consensus. We were like a family. Actually, in one of the meetings, we even proposed Honorable Dombo's name to lead a new group of leaders that should ensure President Museveni exits power peacefully. I did not tell you that I was going to inform you. I hope I will not cause you problems. We had actually fronted him as one of the clear-headed former guild president and politician coming from eastern Uganda to prepare him for presidency around 2016. We formed PAFO, Parliamentary Advocacy Forum. So that spirit of love and togetherness has disappeared with multipartism. This experiment of multipartism is not working. The level of repression by the state, even before you talk of national dialogue, which I support, there are people who have lost family members. There are people in prison who have not been tried since 2021. Forget about this recent one of 2026. There is a video of the elections of 2021 when President Museveni's convoy was passing. Those days, the National Unity people would chant. They shot and killed 2 people in the convoy. People have been killed. We have so many political prisoners. Now, honestly speaking, if you are Mofumbiro, they call him Honorable Mofumbiro, you are in prison. Your wife died. You cannot come and bury. And then you are saying national dialogue. So the political repression is radicalizing people. People are bitter. The other day, there is a lady opposite my home in Ndeje. I will not mention her name. She told me there were people taking pictures of my house, taking screenshots. I was away. She told me after 2 days. I said, why didn't you call me to tell me? She said, these days, they may be tracking your phone and they will take me to the basement just for calling me to inform me that there is a stranger
taking photos of your
taking photos. So you're going to have, in fact, the political word is now, the repression has brought self-censorship. People have decided to keep quiet and behave like a tortoise and put their head back into the shell. So the censorship is becoming individual.
There is an argument, Honorable Dongota, that says this is political contestation. You contested in 2021, you lost the election. Settle back, organize your party, plan, mobilize to contest again after 5 years. If you contest after those 5 years, you're not successful, wait for another 5 years. But the ruling party and the state will say, you are not giving us space to govern with the mandate that we have received.
Yeah.
And the actions being taken are being taken precisely because you haven't given us the space. You are thinking alternative.
The better question would be, are we for the politics of winner takes all? That because Bobby Wine has lost, Besigye has lost, Odonga had lost, we want nothing from them other than paying their taxes.
Isn't that the constitution that we are governed under.
And
Isn't it a winner takes it all, winner take all constitution?
That is a very bad concept, and that is what is bringing division. I had challenged.
Is it a bad concept? Is it a bad constitution?
Actually, the winner takes all. You know, there was a former president of U.S. in the 1600s. He said, majoritarianism is wrong. The fact that you are a majority does not in any way mean you are right. I can be alone, but I am right. You can be 1,000 and wrong. So I think the winner takes all system is bad. We need to have, Honorable Dombo, we need to have a fairly exclusive government. I challenge President Museveni. Why can't you appoint Bobby Wine Minister for Foreign Affairs and let him decline?
And
it will heal Ugandans.
And President Museveni will give you an answer and say, I appointed Beatrice Anywa before she belonged to NRM. I appointed Betty Kamya. Yes, I appointed Betty Kamya. I appointed Norbert Mao, who is the leader of an opposition political party. He will tell you, I appointed Betty Amonge. I have appointed many from the opposition. They're in my cabinet. I appointed Henry Tumukunde, who contested against me.
Mangusha, you see, President Museveni, to appoint you, you first have to convert from blue or to be yellow. We want you to appoint people and they maintain their distinctiveness. Being a guerrilla fighter, he believes in loyalty. Loyalty is the first password. So I would challenge government. This is the time that you even need, like Yusuf Sibambi, Bobby Wine, you need to crisscross and get opposition figures. Mwiru Paul, I would not have a problem with.
Do you really believe that Bobby Wine would accept an appointment into M7 government after losing to him in the last election and the previous one?
Now that one you need to ask him. But what I'm trying to say, the country needs
You're
to
making
heal.
the proposal.
Yeah, but people are very bitter. We have been completely excluded.
We
have been completely excluded.
You and Emanuel Dombo spent 20 years in Parliament.
Yeah.
You never proposed to move away from the winner-take-all arrangement among the constitution amendments, and we've had many.
Yeah, and that is the biggest challenge we did as a country. Because, Dombo, you remember when President Museveni was campaigning for multipartyism, his philosophy was that let us release the opposition from the house and they get out of here.
You are attributing that to the whole country. I am asking you the question as a member, as someone who served in Parliament for 20 years. You never saw it then?
No, we did not know that this multipartyism would fail. It has now failed. The other time I told you I was heading to Brussels. My car got a mechanical problem in front of CMI. It is now a hotel owned by Sudi. So I parked in front of CMI. They detained my car for 8 hours that they're doing intelligence, counterintelligence. Why an opposition member of parliament, his car of all places, should stop here? So even the state actors, the security agencies, don't understand being an opposition. They think we are an enemy of the state. They think Mwiru Paul is Joseph Kony, is Al-Shabaab, is Jamil Mukulu. So if Mwiru Paul is Joseph Kony, why do you pay him salary? Why do you pay him salary?
Would you account for yourself as a political actor? As somebody who served in Parliament?
Yeah.
Yes, the security agencies might do their work the way they do it, but you, as political actors, and allow me to introduce the Honorable Paul Mwiru. Honorable Paul Mwiru, very nice to have you on the Frontline tonight.
Thank you.
You wanted to say hello to your viewers and your constituents.
My apologies. I'm just returning from Masaka, where the Thanksgiving of Honorable Javila, Lugowa Sevina, and the jam held me up. But I'm glad to be here.
Very nice.
With my colleagues, Honorable Odonga, Otto, and Honorable Emanuel Dombo. I have something special with Honorable Odonga, Otto. Yes. We share the history, yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that. Honorable Odonga, Otto, I do not have security people here. They can account for whatever they do. Whether it is in the protection of the state or the protection of the government in power or the administration in power. That's a different discussion. I am asking you, as political actors, you said you entered Parliament at 23. You left Parliament at 43?
Yeah.
43. 20 years later. You need to be able to account for that time and say, I was able to see, as a young man, that this is the direction we're going, and these are the measures I took to try and make sure we don't end up in deterioration.
No.
And I would challenge Honorable Emanuel Dombo the same. You said there's been a deterioration, and that deterioration has been under your watch. When you are an active,
but even before Dombo comes in, I think we all thought when multi-parties come and we give political parties funding, they would have rallies and would compete for power. But the moment the multi-partyism came, it was not a multi-partyism of inclusion. It was a multi-partyism of exclusion. That's why you see people being beaten in public rallies. So the multi-partyism is not working. This is a problem for all of us, Uganda. It is not opposition. It is not Museveni. It is not Bobby Wine. The multi-partyism we entered in is fake. It kills people. It incarcerates people. So we need to start thinking. Maybe I would even propose that we need a referendum to go back to the movement system, individual merit system. It's not working.
Patrick.
All right, gentlemen, I'm afraid we'll have to switch and go to that other discussion in the fight against corruption. We'll come back to the discussion about the national dialogue. The Honorable Balaam Barugahara, we're able to get him out of his engagements in Pakwach. He's been doing Baraza's huge rally that has had. Honorable Balaam Barugahara, do we have you online now?
I'm online, I can hear you, Mami.
Yes, I can see you, sir. Thank you for joining us from Pakwach. How's been your day running today?
Pakwach today, we were able to
Hello?
connect people. We were able in Pakwach.
Do you have him now?
In Pakwach, we were able to connect 2 people, 2 or 3 people who have swindled 900 million the low-cost road. So the
Honorable Balaam Barugahara, do we have you now? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I think we need to try maybe a different line or something. But we are switching to be joined. I did announce earlier that we'll be joined by the Honorable Balaam Barugahara, who is doing these crusades and issuing edicts and decrees along the way in his fight against corruption. A very interesting scenes that we have been watching over the last few weeks. Large crowds of people following him wherever he walks in these crusades, and government officials, for once in a very long time, being put on the spotlight. Honorable, I'm told you can hear me. We can't hear you in studio. Could you talk to us? And sorry about that. If you can hear me, could you speak to us? Hello? We still have... Yes. I think we still have a few issues with the connecting line. All right, thank you. We will be trying to get back to the Honorable Balaam Barugahara. And gentlemen, I'm going to request that for a moment, let's discuss this crusade against corruption. It will tie back into the need for national dialogue, because if service delivery is under strain, and that strain is being caused by corruption, and corruption is supervised by political actors, we will have to switch back to it and get to that discussion and find a meeting point of these issues. But Honorable Paul Mwiru, let me come back to you quickly before we get into the discussion on corruption. Many people, you in the National Unity Platform, you have now indicated you're ready, you've written formally to join the inter-party dialogue, the party organization dialogue, IPOD. You've said now you'll join. For the last 5 years, you'd insisted you're not going to join IPOD for whatever reasons that you had. The bigger question is, from where you sit, do you think a national dialogue is the solution to our political question today, less than just about a year after the last election?
Well, first, you see, you mix a number of things. Of course, the background is that we are conscripted into joining, because when you have a right to associate, you have a right to disassociate. Before the amendment to the Political Parties and Other Organizations Act, it was optional for one to join, but of course they knew that our activities had been largely funded by resources from government based on the numerical strength, as Honorable Odonga said earlier. Those who are acting in bad faith, violating the rules of legislation, that they came up with a law which was targeting a national unity platform, they had actually to do that. That's why, because of the conscription by law, the rest was incidental. That if you wanted to survive as a political organization, the prudent thing for you to do was to do what is there, but we challenged even that law in their court. And the constitutional petitions by law are supposed to get the urgency they're supposed to get, but they sat on that, on the law as is. To me, I think the question of dialogue, we even simplified it. We say that, you see, if there's dialogue, we have no problem. But the issue has been that actually, who is the guarantor that whatever we talk about will actually give effect? But also, three, the conduct. When you read our constitution, it has a preamble. It talks about our history, where we have come from. When you refer to what you call an election, which was just concluded, of course you know what happened. It is still vivid in your mind. But even if I were to start from what we've just concluded, they will say elections. You know what happened. Actually, this was my first time to see that actually the police was interested in influencing who becomes an LC, one chairperson of an area. We raised these things. People petitioned, actually, even in, I'll give an example, like in Jinja at Iganga Road. They came and they counted half the line of an opposition person, then they moved on NRM, then they declared. A petition was raised in several places. Even in some other places, they would even have declared that Dombo has won. He has got 200 votes, Otto 80. But we are going to give the results at the Sabo County. As you reach there, then they would say Otto has won. They swap the result. All these issues were raised. Then they said, no, now that you are patient, the commission wait for the result. They announced another day, an election at LC2. So the question is lingering in our mind. You are not resolved LC1. But the electoral college for LC2, that those who have been in LC1. Even we don't even get small things. For instance, you see, President Museveni went to the bush and the group, not that because there were no hospitals or there were no schools. There were governance issues. So for me, in my view, by the way, like this dialogue you're talking about, and maybe downplaying the issues as they obtain today, we talk to many people across the board, and they all know the civic space is disappearing, the human rights violations at the peak, the abductions. And when we have raised issues to do with these abductions, and these colleagues come on the floor and say, okay, we are going to check whether we have Amos Rangoman, even after court had issued the writ of habeas corpus. Then tomorrow they rush and charge him in the court martial. Then they release that one. Then you say, Mwanga Chivumbi. They say, okay, the Prime Minister undertakes. We shall check. Then they say, yeah, they have produced him after 19 days. All these are just irregularities. Then the other day I was sarcastically thanking them for, even after contrary to Article 23, holding people incommunicado. They later produced them and say, okay, you also bring Sam Mugumya. They were busy undertaking that we're going to check, and then who shall bring. Actually, the framers of the Constitution made the whole chapter on human rights. And they put the duty on everybody. But even the other point I'm making, that now we have really reached a level that even you talk about dialogue, now dialoguing with who? Because now...
So let me flip the question, Honorable Mwiru. The route through elections has not been successful. You've participated in those elections. And you're describing them the way you are, including LC1 elections, the local council elections, LC1, LC2. The route through dialogue, from what you're saying, seems a non-starter. So, what's the way forward?
Actually, to start with, first, you continue to call them elections. Of course, you know, that even, you know how our candidate was treated, Machagwanya was treated. But I think there's still some pretense that maybe that's how they have to treat presidential candidates. Even the results. Why we insisted on even declaring the results and publishing them in the Gazette the way the law provides is that we actually even still have the other forms. Like for me, I even went an extra mile of having a printout from the district of the results of the presidential and mine. Mm-hmm. And what we are gathering that actually from that percentage they created of 71, it can't be substantiated. Up to today, we have never seen the results. But the lists are still very comfortable to say, no, there was an election. Someone was declared with 71%. If you won, it is fine. Bring out the result. Now I want to show you that to us, that doesn't pass the test of the election. Then too, when you talk about dialogue now, everybody actually...
Honorable Mwiru, I'm sorry I have to disrupt you because we have Balaam back. We've been trying to link with him and the connection has been poor. The Honorable Balaam Barugahara, do we now have you with us? Thank you for joining us from Pakwach.
Thank you everyone. Thank you to the panelists. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm told that you're still holding your barazas up to now. Are they still running?
The baraza, the line is, I'm left with about 150 people expressing their views.
Okay.
So this is a people parliament, and we let people work in the day. Then in the evening, they come and express their views and expose the different rackets of corruption so that we can fix them and attend to them.
Pakwach is district number what, since you started your crusade?
Pakwach should be, now West Nile is the region number 3.
Region number
4. Mm-hmm. Region number 4. We started in Bugisu, where we went to Bulambuli, we went to Namisindwa, we went to Mbale City and Mbale District, where close to 40 civil servants were interdicted and taken to court. Out of 40, 26 DPP sanctioned their files, so they are in court, at anti-corruption court. 14 are pending forensic audit, material audit, and these other audits. Then we moved now to Masaka. In Masaka, the worst district hit was Zimbabwe, where 16 people were arrested in different departments for collecting money fraudulently to give people titles which were not there. And yet the president had paid for the titles, government had paid for the titles, 1,500 titles. So they collected from the public about 10 billion under the watchful eyes of our technical people in the district, by the district land office and others at large. So 16 people today, 8 appeared in court. 8 more will appear. Their files are pending some audit. Then in Masaka district, we didn't net any. In the district of Masaka, it performed really very well. The hospitals were functioning. The medicine was there. The only problem in Masaka, they have sold the NFL land. They have created 700 titles on NFL land. 700 titles on government land, and they have cut trees. Instead of they have removed our indigenous tree, planting now pine. So when I called the Honorable Tafire, he wasn't aware. So now those people who made the titles and the people whose titles were made, the president will issue a directive to have those titles cancelled in the next in the coming days. So Masaka performed generally well. Masaka City, there were issues of land where government land has been sold, and the few instances of corruption where Chairman Erosiwan stole money, keeps collecting money from people to benefit from PDM, and another case where a hospital in Nyendo Mukungwe, where drugs were not even a single drop of drug was found, and yet they had just supplied them drugs the previous week. And Masaka Hospital, where they extort money, whoever goes there for labor, they don't allow now people to push their kids. They tell them you need an operation. So generally, out of 10, 9 go for cesarean, implying they want money, the doctors want money. So now that is under investigation with Minister of Health. Then in Zimbabwe, from everybody, apart from the cow, is the only one surviving. The rest, all of them have issues. One the DHO sold the equipment of a private clinic and took it to another clinic in a neighboring district. He was arrested and given bond, not taken to court, given bond. So all that impunity must stop. Then the town clerk has been collecting money in his own pocket. Money meant for building plans, money meant for the market, the roofler money, all that money has been collecting and putting in his pocket. So I want to thank the State House Anti-Corruption team, CID, DPP, and the lawyers of State House who are supporting this operation. Unlike other operations, these operations are people-led. People inform you that, Honorable, I was charged money for this. Honorable, this road, they budgeted for 200 million. And they said they are going to make a bridge, come and say bridge. So Zimbabwe is rotten. Then when we left Zimbabwe now, we called the leaders meeting in Kampala where we expressed ourselves on what we are doing. They needed to know what we are doing. Then now we went to Mbarara. In Mbarara, the town clerk and his technical team, they diverted the money for a road. They ate off the whole money for a road. Not only that, they built a toilet like a Bulambuli, 2 toilets not connected to sewer, no pit latrine, but they were charged 34 million, 38 million each toilet. From Mbarara, there's that the bridge, the Thomas Bridge. We counted 16 iron sheets on it, but it took the taxpayer 316 million. Each iron sheet, me as a builder, I buy an iron sheet, a plate, at 500,000. So for 16, that would amount to about 80 million less. That would be about 80 million. And a few food and a few things, they charge the taxpayer 360. Skatete Bridge. And then there's a Kanondo Uchira Road. That one, they diverted the money for the road. They ate 200 meters off the road. They never tarmacked and under Usmid. So from Mbarara, the other cases of sale of public land at Kamkuz and others, now we went to Sinjiro. In Sinjiro, government invested money under leg to build a factory, a coffee factory. Well, in Sinjiro, they installed a transformer, 3-phase transformer. Immediately they installed it, they removed it and took it away. Now no one knows who took it. They removed the weighing scale to measure coffee. So the machine hasn't been working all this long. And the leadership is there. So when I ask them where is the transformer, that we don't know. But you have a cow, you have all these tech production officer, you have all these important people. So all those ones are under investigation. And probably they will appear in court very soon. From Zimbabwe, we went to the mother of problems.
From Isinjiro
again.
From Isinjiro.
From Isinjiro, we went to Mwiru. In Isinjiro, there are dams that have costed the taxpayer 30 billion, 15 billion, 18 billion. The dam meant to supply a whole village, 2-3 villages. It is supplying one farmer. The pump, and they commissioned it. The pump is not functioning, so it's only one farmer getting water for irrigation on that dam. There's another big dam which has cost us almost over 60 billion. That one it's not operational yet. Then when we went to Mwiru, the driver, the tractor driver, the road engineer confirmed to us in Mwiru that the chairman, LC5, they put 96 million on his account. And when they put the money, indeed the money was put. The driver used the 6 million. The chairman told him to sign for 96 million. The driver said they cannot sign. The chairman said, you fire this driver. Let this driver get out of the system. He doesn't know what we are doing. He doesn't know you are supposed to do mobilization here. So the driver said that they fired me, but I took them to court. I won the case and they never brought me back to job. So such a driver is a hero. Then, on the account of the chairperson of Mwiru, a contractor who supplies material to the district, he posted 14 million shilling on the man's account. That is for him to quicken the process.
That's the district chairman.
They have been employing nurses who pay 8, 10 million, 15 million. The volunteer nurses who have been in the hospital have never been considered. So that amount to corruption. So Mwiru is there. Now we went to the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker's district.
Mitoma.
They build that is Mitoma. They have built a toilet just behind the roofler. Roofler is the
slaughterhouse.
A pit latrine which is full to capacity. A slaughterhouse just behind it. No water, nothing. So the flies fly from the pit latrine to the slaughterhouse. However, the slaughterhouse was budgeted for 90 million. When you look at it with your eyes, even me who can't build expensive houses, I know. It can't take 7 million. but they call that one accountability. They built a heritage center which has never operated for 6 years. They are in Mitoma there. There's a bridge which costs every financial year 100 million. This bridge has no single iron bar in it. It has culverts which are lying on the ground. They put maram and then they put something which resembles a beam, but it's concrete without iron bar, not even a ring. So all these cases. Then there's a primary school earning money from government and textbooks from government, but they are not students, they are not teachers, but they send that primary school teacher fund money for teachers. They are paid. They are giving capitation grant. So this is how pathetic some of our local governments are. That is why the president has said enough is enough. Go on and attack. When there was SEC,
Honorable
some
Balaam,
members of parliament raised the issues during SEC. One of them was Pakwach, Maracha, somewhere there, Queen, Budaka. There were like 6 districts raising issues on PDM. But when you come for PDM, you get other dangers, you get other problems. So this fight is not my fight. It's not General Moses' fight. It's not President Museveni's fight. It is a fight for all Ugandans who want service delivery in hospitals. In Mbale, by the way, before I forget, they will sue Heritage Center 4, which is the main Heritage Center of Mbale district, the main hospital of Mbale district. They posted there 18 workers. Out of 18 workers, 17 were posted at the hospital on the same day. The same day they were given a bond to go and study. So they have not worked in a hospital for 2 years, but they are earning full salary to the main hospital. Now, if you're still in the main hospital and you put ghost heritage workers, what about the other grade 3 hospitals? In another heritage center on Nabumali on top of the hill there, we found a heritage center where the gatekeeper is the one administering, is the one putting candle on the patient, putting a drip on the patient, the gatekeeper, a compounding slasher. So this is how pathetic these things are. So this fight is for all Ugandans. All Ugandans join the fight. It is not my fight. It's not Museveni's fight. It's not Moses' fight. Neither is it Salim Saleh's fight. It is for all Ugandans who want sanity in Uganda.
thank you. Honorable Barugahara, I have in studio Honorable Odonga Otto, I have Emanuel Dombo, and I have Paul Mwiru. My question to you, yes, my question to you is your campaign sustainable?
It can be sustainable if at all it is supported by all Ugandans. This is a people campaign. Like when I come for these campaigns, I don't spend any money on publicity. Unlike other campaigns where you have to ferry people, provide them with water, give them tents, these ones actually are giving me water. The people are tired. The people in the communities are tired.
I hear you when you talk about people in the community being tired. But many people have also been questioning. Government has a lot of agencies that investigate corruption. Where is Balaam Barugahara, as Minister for Local Government, getting his information? Are you relying on the Auditor General's report? Are you relying on...
You see, the most important thing, I've told you this is a people-led campaign. But I started in my beginning, I told you let's give credit to State House Anti-Corruption agents, to CID, to DPP, and to the different reports, the internal auditors, the external auditors of the different districts, and to the staffs of the district who are providing us with this information. Within the system of every district, there are people who are dissatisfied. For instance, if there is a heritage center like Busui in Mbale, you are supposed to be 14 workers. Out of 14, 7 are never there for 2 years. But they are signing for them that they are working every day. And salary is going to them. The 7 who are working day and night. Isn't that overstretching? So will they keep quiet? No, they will not. So the information we are using is people-led. The campaign is people-led. And the campaign can be sustainable as long as the people are interested in having it cleared. If they are not interested in having it cleared, it will end.
Honorable Minister, many people have been watching this crusade, saying and listening to you here, declaring that somebody stole money, a bridge wasn't done on the right, with the right amount of money. They're saying Balaam Barugahara has become the investigator, the prosecutor, and the judge. What do you say to that?
Charles Mwangwia, I move with the Minister of Works experts on my team. The Honorable Fred Biamkama assigned me 4 road engineers. There's one material auditor, there's a lab tech, and there are 2 engineers who are specialists in this. And wherever we go, they test. They even take soils to how we were able to nab the Mbale cases, the road cases in Mbala, Namisindwa, and Bulambuli. They took samples at 5 different points on the road. Took them to a lab in Mbala and a lab at Makerere and a lab at Minister of Works in Chireka. They tested and confirmed this has never been maram, this is ready soil. Good for growing beans. So is that stealing or misappropriation?
There is a presumption of innocence in this country.
No, it's
under
okay.
the Constitution.
That is why when you see, Mwangusha, when I find a problem, I'll tell you this is not right. And I will tell State House and Corruption, the investigating agents, DPP, please carry on. Maybe you may need to get some more information from him. The rest is up to them. I don't have a cell in my car.
Let me just ask you.
I move with a very small car. I don't have any police cell with me. And I don't have a court.
One quick question, and then we'll take a break. And I request you to kindly stay on the line. One quick question.
No, but I have a rally. People on the rally.
Okay, let me just put this question to you before we allow you to go back to your rally. People say, or there is an argument, that corruption in this country appears to be systematic. That what you're dealing with are what a judge has previously called small fish. That you're leaving the big fish stuck up in the hierarchy of government, up to cabinet level where you sit.
The most important thing, Charles Mwangwia, I'm a minister of local government. The only, out of 83 million shilling, I'm in charge 83 trillion. My ministry is in charge of only 11 trillion or less. However, as a minister of local government, I'm supposed to clean the local government where the poor live most. So I will focus on cleaning my department, then others can also clean their departments. So this is a concerted effort. Right Honorable, both is cleaning parliament. Let every minister clean his department as I clean the village where I was allocated.
Honorable Paul Mwiru is actually offering you help here. He says, you're actually in charge of only 6 trillion because 5 trillion is recurrent expenditure.
Yeah, you see, no,
in charge of 6?
Yeah,
he's in charge of 6, but out of 6, 5 is recurrent. In charge of 740 billion for development.
Out of that, the money that may be reaching local government now is less than 2 or 3.
Correct. It's 740.
Okay, yeah, there is an argument also that we've seen this before. We saw this with the State House Health Monitoring Unit of Dr. Diana Twine before she became permanent secretary at the Ministry of Health. We saw it with Kano Edith Nakalema when the State House Anti-Corruption Unit had just been established. How will the Balaam Barugahara, Minister for Local Government, and Justin Namere, Minister of State, campaign? Fair.
Now, the most important thing what we need to do, all of you, I want to work closely with the local government public accounts committee. I want to work closely with all the people who in anti-corruption. We can work together and solve what we can. We may not solve everything. Just like Honorable Mwiru has informed you, what I control is too minimal. But if all ministers do their job, if all people come out and do their job, if everyone comes out and say enough is enough, I think we can control the stealing by 50%. But as of now, Honorable Odonga talk and give you how much Auditor General's report, how much was stolen last financial year. Honorable Mwiru, you could be having that information.
10 trillion.
10 trillion. But did you know you are giving local government, which has the population of Uganda, the biggest population, they are earning only 5, as you have mentioned. Imagine we got all that 10 trillion and added on the 5. Won't our local government have better roads? Won't our hospitals in local government have drugs? Won't our schools have enough teachers who are not ghost teachers? Won't we have enough classrooms? So it is a concerted effort. We should not let's not regularize corruption, that things can be as usual. Let me try my part, because I'm a tenant in that government. I'm not the founder of the government. I'm just a tenant. I'm given an assignment today, and tomorrow I can be removed, but I should be remembered that when I was a minister of local government, I went to Panyamur village, where people ate money for a road, and I was able to highlight it out that these people ate money for a road. I went to Panyamur Area Center 3 today. I shed my tears They built a kitchen at 350 million. They don't have a theater. How do you build a chicken where you cook food from? 350 million.
And you don't have a theater.
You don't have a theater in a hospital. A hospital with over 30,000 people. In that Panyamula has over 30,000 people. Presidents.
Let me go back to the question I put to you earlier. When you have a situation, an incident like that, is it a problem of the local government or does it go back up the chain?
You see, local government has a hand because most of the projects are supervised by local government. But then there are central government projects like those dams I was mentioning. The dams I was mentioning now, this Panyamura Health Center was contracted by the central government, by Ministry of Health. But the health center, the syringe fell on patients. The health center, they budgeted for solar, which doesn't exist. So I mean, all those ones involved in that saga, they must be held accountable and investigated and taken to court. It is a lot of things, but with time, people will come out patriotically. If there are many patriots, they will come out and support and do what we can. Of course, I cannot be the Inspector General of Government, I cannot be the judge, I cannot be the Chief Justice, I cannot be the Prime Minister, and I cannot be the executive and judiciary to decide or legislature to decide. But let me do what I can. I will be remembered that lousy man tried what he could.
Some of your critics saying you're being all those that you have just mentioned. But let me bring in this one quickly before we let you go. You have tickled some of your most ardent supporters the wrong way by putting a ban on bar opening to 3 p.m.
Now, you see,
you're chasing away your supporters. The people have been sharing you.
We need to strengthen transparency, public accountability, community productivity, and responsible regulation of alcohol and betting activity in local governments. Our young people wake up early in the morning at 7. Like you saw NBS yesterday, you were in the movie and they covering people holding 2 bottles in their hand. What time do they work? They are given money for PDM to get out of poverty. They are drinking it. They drink. If you drink from 7 a.m., what time are you going to work? Those are the thieves you find snatching phones, breaking into people's houses. They are not working. So accordingly, I thought it is important people to apply the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995, the Local Government Act, Cap 138, and the Trade Licensing Act, Cap 101/76, as applicable to the National Lotteries and Gaming Act 2016, as amended, so that these local governments, they can create their ordinances and bylaws and other relevant laws and regulations to be made by their district respective councils, so that they can implement some of these directives to increase productivity in their villages. For instance, I went to Sinjiro. The journalists complained they don't attend the council meeting, that the cow chased them away. Now, if you chase me away, how will I know how much has been budgeted for what and where? Which road will be worked on? Which school will be worked on? So now, that one I had to inform the councils, our district councils. I had to guide them as their minister, that he should allow journalists access to the press, to the conference meetings, to the council chambers. Now, they must display budgets. Let people know the budgets. Like today I was in Panyamul, a local said they budgeted to build for us this classroom. Honorable, they never built and the money was spent. I asked the cow, can you confirm that money was spent? That yes. Where is the certificate of completion? They brought the certificate of completion and the money was paid. What kind of thuggery is that? So when you don't allow the locals to participate in the budget monitoring, it is a problem. So I said they should work on that. Then protection of children. I found children during my campaign, during these rallies, children are below 18 drinking. Why should we allow our children to drink honestly? What are we grooming?
Honorable Balaam Barugara, wherever you've gone, crowds are following you, but people are saying you're playing the role of John the Baptist. That there is something, that there is a greater person coming after you.
I've always been John the Baptist, whom God sent to go and prepare for Messiah. So probably you need to understand John the Baptist of the Bible. So John the Baptist played a very important role, making Jesus' role work.
So who is the Messiah coming after?
The Baptist for a good cause.
Who is the Messiah coming after you?
So you see, there is the forerunner is Jesus Christ. He prepared for the way for the coming of the Messiah. If you refer that to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 3, and in Matthew, as well in Matthew chapter 3, verse 3. I'm a preacher of repentance. I'm a baptizer. I'm an announcer of the Messiah. I have a prophetic voice. So Odonga, I'm sure my brother Odonga, who has been my friend.
You're my good friend. I'm just a call away from you. But I was seeing the pictures in Isingiro, and then you see a big banner of President Museveni and a banner of President Muhoozi in a baraza to fight corruption. So why would it turn political? This is time for work.
You see those banners, I don't know who brought them. I found them there. You need those are locals. You see, Odonga, you have been doing campaigns. You find someone I was with you at Makerere, and people were wearing Obote's t-shirts. Obote was in Zambia. And then we would say to Agalo Obote and that's it. You remember?
Anyway, for me, I wish you well. You are doing a good job. I would be very unfair for you to leave the show without saying push on. I'm surprised it's coming to 11. You are still working, and I wish you good health.
Thank you very much, my brother Odonga.
Honorable, unfortunately, if you can stay with us, we'll appreciate, but we got to take a break. I was in Chegego, and a priest said you should expand.
50 people to air out their views. Let me listen to them.
Yes.
We shall have another engagement, but I pray for all of you. Reach home well and work hard.
Thank you. Also pray for you. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go back into the discussion. What Honorable Balaam Barugahara has just talked about. We'll engage.
Frontline.
Can I have a light, please? What is this?
Castor Light, the best testing light.
Try it.
Try it, try it, try it. Da, 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 da.
Guys, look at this post.
Nothing hits like extra cold. Castor Light. Try it.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
Uganda is moving forward, and at the heart of that movement is the most extensive fiber network in East Africa, with more than 15,000 kilometers of fiber and over 5,000 telecom mast sites. Soliton Telmec is the backbone that enables Uganda's telecom and digital infrastructure, connecting government services, businesses, homes, universities, hospitals, banks, villages, and telecom masts. We don't just build networks, we maintain and commercialize critical infrastructure that supports national development. East Africa's leading fiber company, connecting Uganda with the most capacity. Soliton Telmec, building networks for life.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
This is
not just a run. This is a movement with purpose. Join us on 30th August 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the Cancer Run 2026. Starting at 6 a.m. Also taking place simultaneously in other districts across Uganda for the completion of the One-Stop Cancer Center at Nsambya Hospital. Registration is only 30,000 Ugandan shillings online using Gonza Pay. Gates are available at all Centenary Bank branches, Capital Shoppers outlets, Bread House branches, the Cancer Run office on Zimwa Road, Muyenga, the Rotary Uganda office at Nick Building, and Rotary clubs across the country. The Rotary Cancer Run 2026 is organized in partnership with the Parliament of Uganda, Centenary Bank, Crystal Water, and
NBS Sport, championing Ugandan sport.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Odonga like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endongo ya kusabula. We gonna do free on fire, free on fire, free on fire.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
Frontline.
Welcome back. This is the Frontline, and we have unfortunately had to lose the Honorable Balaam Barugahara. He's still going on with his rally or baraza. That's what he calls it. Those are actually live pictures coming in from Pakwach, where he is at the moment, still meeting people. What you saw on the screen well earlier with him putting on a suit is a photo of him that we had taken earlier, but that is the rally that's still going on in Pakwach, where he is currently camped. And we thank him for having joined us to have that discussion of what he is doing. There seems to be some consensus that, let me not pick my own opinion. Let me pick Ken Mutenyo. Ken Mutenyo is watching us and he says, personally, I'm of the opinion that Honorable Balaam must be applauded and supported instead of the negative energy from some quarters. All corrupt tendencies must be fought at all costs, and wherever it's found, my man Atenyi Songambere. As citizens, we're tired of corrupt people. Can we discuss the how later and handle the what now? That's Ken Mutenyo. William Mwiru from Nabingo says, Odonga Otto, stop being dramatic. How can you propose that President Museveni should appoint Bobby Wine as, he says, Minister for Foreign Affairs, but you talked about him as being Vice President, whatever. He says you're being dramatic about that. My friend Let me see. Someone, this is Ario Medax watching from Montungamo. Thank you for watching. And I have Timothy Bala Ruhweza also watching us from, yeah, this one is in Rwengaju in Kabarole district. I have, we'll pick some of these up at some point. But let's step for a moment with Balaam's crusade. And I want to pick it from you. The opposition chairs accountability committees of parliament. You've written reports upon reports. Corruption only seems to keep growing. Do you think the Balaam approach will work finally? What needs to be done better?
Well, thank you. I think what Honorable Balaam is faced with, there are the two things the people have said messages have referred to, the legal test and the sustainability. But before I go to that, I want to just for the benefit of the viewers to know that Parliament has made a resolution on corruption. The Director General has investigated the corruption cases, made the reports to Parliament. For those reports which Parliament has dealt with, and given recommended Parliament passed resolutions for the executive to act on. They have only issued 30% of the Treasury memoranda. Action is taken on the corrupt. That's to start with. Meaning that there's no will basing on that evidence alone. Because the question will be asked, when Balaam does that, what's the end results? Because when Otto General makes a report, Parliament interrogates and makes a recommendation, Parliament adopts the resolution. The law requires that the government must issue action taken, which is a Treasury memoranda, and Otto General must audit the Treasury memoranda to show that action taken will align with the recommendation. That's one. But also two, and most important, you see, it's not that we don't want Balaam. Now, like for me, for my case, like I would say for the benefit of the many supporters that I wish him well, people need to understand two things. The last financial year, we read the budget of 72 trillion. The local government got around 6.4 trillion. They got development, local government, got 740 billion. Recurrent, which is salary and allowances, got around 5.4. Meaning that now Balaam is set, because Balaam is not investigating the salary and allowances per se, other than where people did not, but is looking at largely at the 740 billion, which was for development. That's what the big question was, that now, okay, assuming all the government effort, all the agents of government have been put under Honorable Balaam to follow the 740 billion. So who is following? The other 60-something...
Isn't that the challenge he just threw to all of us?
60-something trillion. Of course, there's no will to fall up there. Because the General, because the point we are trying to make, that, okay, maybe the way Balaam is operating, is it the time to review the law? Because why would the corrupt be actually protected when they're doing all those type of things? The nature of the law, maybe the discussion must actually start. Because you see the sustainability of what we are saying, like I saw Honorable Balaam trying to do a value for money audit. Saying this toilet, when I look at it, I've looked at the BOQ, it's 90. From my assessment as Engineer Balaam, I'm giving this. Where is the balance? You understand? Of course, you see, like in a government project, maybe what you don't know, that at every point, those big projects, the government projects normally have consultants. And those consultants issue certificates.
Isn't it that bureaucratic approach to dealing with corruption? What people have called that the Auditor General, what he does is post-mortem. The money has already gone, recovery becomes a problem because it's a post-mortem. It's coming after. And what Balaam is doing is...
also post-mortem, because also following. Actually, you see, we used to have the pre-audits versus post-audits, like when money is going to be spent. Of course, they tend to say they're going through the system to show that there is no problem. But when it comes to the actual work being done, Dr. General has been doing the value for money audits try to look and find out what someone is doing. But you see, why to some extent, what Balaam is doing, what we have been fighting for. When we were in the 9th and 10th Parliament, I kept on raising my voice over the market, the central market. Then you see that they don't allow even an area MP to go and visit. They were saying, no, the contractor doesn't want anybody to enter the site. But people kept on telling us, these people have adjusted the size of the stalls from the BOQ. 2, they are building lesser floor on the central market.
In Fort Porto, that's what happened. No,
so,
in Fort Porto, they are
no, even me. Actually, I kept on...
a complete floor
I kept on raising it on the floor. Then was, but are you an engineer? People kept on questioning me. But at the end of the project, they added over the market less floor, and they were telling me the prices went up.
What's your suggestion on how to deal with corruption? What are you saying should be done? Because everything you're talking about has been done, has been attempted.
Yes.
You have a multiplicity of agencies supposed to be fighting corruption. It's not...
actually,
it's
to
not,
me,
yes, it's not
again, people have been, out of my experience, what we need to deal with is maladministration. Because you realize that there are many agencies trying to fight corruption, but they are covering more the truth than how they would be revealing it. That alone also creates the problem. Because like what Balaam has been telling you, you go somewhere, people have the information, but you have a PISO, a parish intelligence officer, you have a GISO, you have DISO, you have RISO, you have CISO, you have the structure is there. You have the economic monitoring. You have everything, meaning that once corruption was adopted as an ideology of NRM, you understand that if you die with corruption, then the system would collapse.
So is the NRM
that's why that's what the president said, that does not support lifestyle audits. Because at the end of the day, these people steal money.
Are you suggesting, therefore, that through what Balaam is doing, the NRM is abandoning its ideology?
Actually, the NRM is abandoning its ideology, because what Balaam is doing is actually evidence that actually the government is under free fall. Everything has collapsed. You understand? And as to whether, that's why I asked you that, okay, if what is doing is what is going to fight corruption, and is fighting for the 740 billion, why don't we see this through every sector of government where
you've seen it with,
billion is?
You've seen it with Fred Byamukama.
Yeah, Fred Byamukama, I want to give him credit because he has moved, he has put his foot down. So we want to see this all through the government. Actually, the difference between now the power, actually even now what Balaam is doing and any other, the now Balaam is a fully-fledged team now, which is moving with. Maybe what the president can do, he can appoint him IGG. Yes. Society is empowered. We also create accountability in Uganda the way they have done. Actually, in other countries like Kenya now, they have merged the accountability sector. That's why you see, like if you go to South Africa, they call the public defender. When you go to Kenya, they say accountability Kenya. The entire sector has been merged, the mandate properly reviewed, and then we streamline. This is what we must do. Then the question of theft versus the law. I'm among those who think that the debate must start. Because you meet someone, there's nothing someone has done. For instance, we've been moving on these roads. You find the road, they said they paid the contractor 100%. So, but the man hasn't done the work. Then they said, but you see, the consultant issued a certificate. Then they question you, but are you an engineer? So, but the work is not done. I am on site. You understand? Then at the end of the day, after that, this man is innocent. You understand? Until he pleads or is proven guilty. So you need to follow the procedure. The contractor is innocent.
The one who issued him a certificate should be the one held accountable.
Actually, they also, at that point, they also say, but are you an engineer to know that the road wasn't properly done? But I think for me...
That's a discussion that happened 20, how many years ago? During the Valley Dams of Karamoja? How many years ago?
They say that you are standing on the Valley Dams and they were not seeing them. But for me, the discussion must start. What Balaam actually has done It's what people. It's what we have been doing and complaining.
I'll put this question to Emanuel Dombo, but after a very short commercial break. It's from Felix Muhanguze, who is in Chitagata Shema, who says, let the minister tell the country why he is harsh on civil servants, but seems unbothered on political leaders who are mentioned to have participated in the scandals. And he did mention a district chairman who has been receiving money on his account and a cut from projects, and also talking about sale of jobs. But you will speak to the role of political leaders, current and former, who have been aiding or participating in this corruption. After a very short break, we'll be right back.
Frontline. Billions are invested, promises are made, projects are launched. But what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public fans delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda, auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
Hey travelers, are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelecom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-5000123.
The Miss Uganda 2026 journey to the crown is calling. Are you confident, intelligent, ambitious, and ready to represent the Pearl of Africa? Register now. Log on to MissUganda.org. Celebrating 15 years of true Ugandan beauty. Follow the search on Star Times Makula Chika starting 31st of July, every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. Sponsored by partner sponsors V&A Sherry, Vaseline, U-Home, 7 Days International, Evervest Malt, and the lead sponsor, Opain Uganda. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
I'm seeing you in a huge forest. Huge forest.
Yes, I deal in forestry.
You deal in forest.
Yes.
Hallelujah! In the name of Jesus. And I'm seeing a plane. Are you planning on traveling?
Yes, to America.
To America.
Yes.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chivaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product. But at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land
In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Frontline.
You're still watching the Frontline on NBS TV, and tonight we have the Honorable Paul Mwiru, we have the Honorable Emanuel Dombo, and we have the Honorable Odonga Otto, and we're discussing corruption. We're also discussing, yes, the Balaam decrees and edicts and his sweeping activities across the country. In the fight, in this crusade against corruption. Honorable Dombo, I just put a question to you. Someone is asking, you're dealing with technocrats. In Mitoma, Balaam was putting the district education officer on the spot over some head teachers who collected money, I think 200,000 from pupils to register them at a different center. And the DO didn't have an idea what was going on. He seemed to be reading from some dossier, which only him was privy to. But someone is questioning and saying, where are you leaving the political leaders? Because these technocrats are not doing this alone.
Patrick, Charles, when you look at what is happening during the Balaam tours, and you see it is now 11 p.m. and you see the nature of rallies that the population are willing to come without being provided any incentives. But when their only hope is that perhaps somebody is going to save them from the corrupt officials, it shows you that there is something that is not going on properly in this nature of governance that we are providing in Uganda. Because almost at every level, at village level, we have a chairperson. At sub-county level, we have a sub-county chairperson and a Gombola chief. We even have parish chiefs. At the district level, we have elected leaders. And President Museveni has repeatedly said that the reason he left, he was not excited about chiefs. He knew that the people are going to elect their leaders who are going to represent them. But how is all this happening when we have elected leaders in those respective areas and they either don't know what is happening or they are part of the conspiracy that is taking place? This is something that must be inquired into. Really, do the elections matter? In those elections, where you go to members of parliament, they shout and say, elect me. Where you get chairpersons LC5, and the only thing they are going to do is to sell the jobs. That is going to happen. In answering that question, I'll give an example of what happened in Butaleja. In my district, government posted an assistant RDC called Nambiro. Nambiro comes to Butaleja And he inquires into how the fees were being levied in primary schools, him having been a primary teacher. And he went and got statistics and the circulars from government, from UNEB and the Ministry of Education, what government is paying for, and he goes to interrogate the district leaders and the teachers why they were collecting money from the pupils when the government had already paid for the same fees to UNEB. The district council convened and they made a resolution that this man should be transferred. And indeed, he was transferred. I tried to come to the president's office to talk to Mr. Kakande. He had been convinced that actually this man is the one who is corrupt and not doing his work. I tried to plead, and the impression is that I was interfering. So there is a very huge conspiracy against the population by the so elected leaders. Balgahare, the politicians' role and access to money is very limited. It's like the ministries. Where would the minister sign for money? You have seen in Parliament, we have the Speaker and we have other technical leaders in Parliament. But the technical leaders have been charged in courts of law. But for the Speaker, they are still making an inquisition. Because the Speaker is not a signatory. He is not anywhere involved in money directly. Unless there is a specific accusation where somebody will say politician has done such and such a thing. Like in Mitoma, where somebody was accused of depositing money on his account, then there would be evidence. Because that is very important.
I think he was talking about, I think that is in Zimbabwe.
What's Zimbabwe? There must be evidence, because politicians naturally, it is eyes on and hands off, because you are not directly involved in signing the money.
Honorable Dombo, there's been an argument that the push for political office through elections and the desire to keep political office is what has led to all this compromise. Forget the chiefs who are technical. Think you rely on elected leaders, and the elected leaders are looking at the next election, so they will never mind about, they will facilitate, actually.
Not only that,
corruption.
In many districts and many areas, you'll find the technical officers facilitating the election of the next leaders. And once a chairperson LC5, for instance, has been elected with the support of a cow, of the technical officers in the ministry, the likelihood of the chairperson and his team looking at what is happening is not likely to be there. Like I was giving the example of my district, where an assistant RDC was hounded out of the district, and when he went to Mbali district, he tried to do the same when he was transferred. The entire leadership of Mbali region ganged against this young man when he raised the issues of corruption in schools. There is a possibility that some of these areas, the elected leaders themselves, are either compromised or are continuous beneficiaries of the corruption that is taking place in the respective areas. So as a country, not government, as a country, we need to reflect our type of politics. Is it serving the purpose which it is intended? Because even in situations where we have...
Is that a conversation you're having at the Secretariat? Is that a conversation you're having within the caucus of the NRM in Parliament? Is that a conversation you're having in the Central Executive Committee?
Recently, the NRM caucus sat, and you saw the number of resolutions that were passed when it sat in Mnyonyo. And those are the issues: supporting government programs and priorities, fighting against corruption, ensuring that there is a commitment to ensure that there must be robust accountability for people to do their work. But Honorable Otto, you'll believe that at the time we were in Parliament, how would a member of Parliament be convinced that he would try to negotiate with an agency of government that we budget and give an agency more money so that we can follow up the money to go and sign for it? There have been accusations of members of parliament of doing underhand things that were unheard of at the time we were in parliament. Many PSs have been raising issues. When you look at the quality of loans being passed by parliament, go and ask, is parliament fulfilling the duty that they were required when it was put in the constitution that government can only borrow money with the approval of parliament? You go and look at the quality of loans and see whether the members of parliament, when they go to the hotels to scrutinize the loans, whether they pay attention to what the loan is going to do, the cost of the loans, and any other issues that will prevent many MPs.
Honorable Dombo, to be fair to Ugandans watching you, especially the younger ones, should you be asking questions? Shouldn't you be telling us what has gone wrong?
No, people are just corrupt.
What has driven
people are thieves. People have just become corrupt.
How did we get here?
People have progressively become corrupt. Even the institutions of government. We have the Auditor General's office. Just ask yourself, how would what happened in Parliament happen when we have an Auditor General who is making a follow-up of what is happening in Parliament?
Let me move this.
Because there was a collapse. There is malaise in all the institutions of government, including the anti-corruption agencies themselves that are supposed to fight against corruption.
Thank you. Let me bring this to Odonga Otto as we move. Let me first take a message from Bahati Fred, who's watching us. He says, thank you so much. I strongly support my brother Balaam. I'm writing a proposal to the President and to the Speaker of Parliament to amend the law in relation to academic qualifications from Chairman LC1, LC2, LC3, Councillor at the sub-county, Councillors to LC5, to the district. Chairman to Parliament should be bachelor's degree, and the starting salary for LC1 should be 500,000. This proposal intends to achieve some of the following: ease monitoring and supervision of government projects from the lowest unit of leadership, create employment of about 100,000 graduates, increase household income, increase the tax base, curb or reduce corruption. I thought the elites, the educated ones are, is there a line?
And Charles, let me tell you, when you look at the loans that government has been borrowing and you hear what is happening in these local governments, you begin wondering, do we really need to borrow money in order to service the programs of government?
Let's throw that to...
The money that we have would be able to suffice.
Odonga, you answer that question.
You see, during the LRA, they had war, they had few guns. At times they are confronting a mighty UPDF. The UPDF would have like 600 AK-47s. So, because the rebels may have like 20 guns, so what they would do, they would abduct young people who would be hitting saucepans together with the guns. Hey, arrested! So that they sound many. Yet some are carrying saucepans, yet minority have guns. I see what Balaam is doing is the same to that. He's bringing up, the word is euphoria. He's doing a good thing. He's bringing back euphoria. He's bringing back hope to Ugandans that corruption can be fought. But I want to say, the DPP has failed Ugandans. The CID have failed Ugandans. The police, you have failed Ugandans. The Inspectorate of Government, you have failed Ugandans. Human Rights Commission, you have failed Ugandans. The story does not end there. What Balaam is doing is what Honorable Mwiru should be doing. Where is the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament? Where is the Local Government Accounts Committee of Parliament? Where is the Government Assurance Committee of Parliament?
Where are the members of
Where
Parliament?
is the COSASE Committees of Parliament? What Balaam is doing is what the British designed Ugandan to do. That is why all the accountability committees are left to the opposition members of Parliament, so that you squeeze government and show that government is rotten. Now, if you hear the speech of Honorable Balaam Atene, now you may think he's the leader of opposition in Parliament. Everything is absolutely rotten. Now, what Balaam is doing is just making money for the CID and police, because his approach is very rowdy. Arrest this one, record a statement. The moment he leaves, they will start saying, how much can you give? The same detective, the same investigators, the same IGG, they will say, what is the charge on this man? 200 million. Let him first bring 50 if he wants bail.
I saw him order cancellation of bond, police bond, on someone.
It's just, it's just bringing business for those state actors. So what I think, this decentralization has decentralized corruption. We need to revisit the whole philosophy of decentralization.
Absolutely.
Because, ask yourself, we have made you to have your government in Pade. You elect your LC5. You elect the LC,
the Service Commission,
the District Service Commission. You have the PAC. You have the Local Government Accounts Committee in the local council. But there is still theft. For example, my home district, Pade. The former chairman, LC5, bought a TV screen, 18-inch. It is at 17 million. The TV, I can even buy at 800,000. Now, when Balaam was going to Pade, they organized to welcome him.
18-inch or 8?
This size here,
the small one.
The small one.
32-inch.
32-inch, which is 800,000. It is in the office of the LC5 chairman. It is bought at 16 million shillings. Now, when Balaam is going to Pade, they organized people to welcome him. He was just enjoying traditional dancers. He left the whole district without even going to say who procured this. And you'll find that the political leaders influence the civil servants to approve certain figures, and then they give the money back to them. So maybe we need to centralize recruitment of all civil servants. We may have to abandon the idea of local staffs, because some local governments, for example, one in Lira, it is only relative, friends, and in-law. Strictly, you don't give 5 million shillings, you don't get the job. So people are recruiting only their relatives. So the whole local government needs to be revisited. We may have to get back to parliament. We need to centralize the recruitment of all civil servants at local government level, and then we transfer them. We move the one from Butaleja, take to Jinja. We remove from Jinja, we take to Pade. But otherwise...
Isn't that already happening in respect of chief administrative officers?
Yeah, but
the recruitment is controlled at the center.
Actually, I am very happy when the Minister of Local Government issued directive that they will be procuring everything from the center, including stationaries and pens. Because the level of corruption down there is...
Wouldn't you centralize corruption then? Or is that assuming that corruption is only limited to the local governments?
But as of now...
Otto is talking about the 740 billion, but we're not talking at the corruption at the 60-something billion. Because if you also interrogate it, trillion.
You raised the argument. Local government is only responsible for 6 trillion. Out of that 6 trillion, 5 trillion is recurrent expenditure.
Salaries
and allowances.
740 billion.
Development budget.
740 billion.
740 billion.
You see, Balaam is just a workaholic. But this is just local government. We don't have to touch all other ministries. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have a whole ambassador who attempted to sell government property. We have an ambassador in Europe, I don't want to mention the country, who picks allowances that is going, because Uganda government is poor. So you appoint one ambassador, they give 10 countries. So he picks allowances that is leaving Canada, going to Sweden and Norway, and then the driver drops him to the airport. Then immediately, the driver comes back with the Ugandan flag to the embassy. Then he leaves the airport, he does not take the flight and comes and sleeps in a lodge. While he has the allowance in the pocket.
Jumps into a taxi.
Yeah, he jumps in a taxi. We even have a cow who removed the whole engine of a local government vehicle, brand new, and put in his. Eventually, even became a member of parliament.
Time is running out. We need to be getting out of here.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Maybe this is the solution. Colleague Solomon Serwanja decided to run for LC1. And he actually won in a village called Vamutakude.
By 1 vote.
Yeah, he won by 1 vote, but he won. And he says, he tweeted earlier today and said, we have started our 3-day retreat with the Vamutakude LC1 committee members at the Nagalale County House to work on a 5-year strategic plan for the village. And he's appreciative of, and you need to read the comments below this tweet on X, and maybe that's where you need to get. Maybe
but this was where the people who are practicing corruption, it's not because they are less educated. These are highly educated and well-positioned human beings. And the challenge is that we need to do a rethink. We need extraordinary ways like Balaam is trying. And perhaps we may need a serious dictator to come in and
actually, as we conclude, we just need to amend
corruption.
the law and bring back the death sentence. And death sentence should mean actual execution in less than 60 days. So that when people see some of these thieves being executed, they will find it a very risky business. As of now, it is not risky. You can steal money and bribe your way, bribe the police, bribe the judiciary.
You are an advocate, and Honorable Mwiru and
But to
myself.
be the law.
Yes, but the death sentence is still very much alive.
No, but the actual execution. Who was the last execution?
It's still very much alive.
It was Serubi.
It is up to the president now.
Pardon?
The way they are doing it, of course, they can sentence you to death by hanging, but the execution now is what it needs to be followed.
Yeah, people need to be executed.
Because the murder of the children in
Okello.
Okello was sentenced to death.
Even today,
the murderers of Susan Magara, 2 of them, were sentenced to death.
And that sentence now means you stay there for 20 years.
No,
or
that's
forever.
the life sentence is actually life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they should be hanged.
It is usually committed, but Charles,
no, what I'm saying
what
is that
will happen? You said the priest in your place. What did the priest say?
The priest said Balaam should be encouraged to go on, and he said, even come to the church.
Now, that's the problem. That the problem is far much bigger if the priest can confess like that to his audience.
I see the problem a little differently. That everybody seems to want to kick the can, and why Balaam is causing all the star he's causing now is because he's acting.
Charles,
he's not kicking that responsibility.
Charles, let me maybe underscore one thing. The effect of corruption, the other time I was speaking about it. Like, for instance, when you look at the road sector, we have 159,561 kilometers in the country. But out of that, it's only 8,800 which is paved, which is tarmacked. 150,000 kilometers is gravel. But the cost of tarmacking a kilometer now, asphalt 4 millimeter inches is 5 billion. That if you divided, yes, a kilometer, if you divided that 5 billion if you divided the 10 trillion, which we lose annually, by the 5 billion, you'd have 2,000 kilometers stolen every year. If you multiply by the term of 5 years, that would be 10,000.
10,000 kilometers.
And if you multiply by the number of times this have been here, you'd have had like 80,000 kilometers, which is just stolen like that.
Well, as you say that,
it's just as simple as that.
You know, they just
no, it may not be directly like that because
the president,
even the collection wasn't like that.
The president,
in the earlier times.
The president, the minister for works have told us that why we've been suffering with that bad road, Mitiana Movende, that they've been working on forever. And the deterioration of the section beyond that, especially Kegegwa to Chenjojo, is because some people have been eating the man, and you know, they delay the road, it never gets done, and no one is held accountable. But Mugonero Charles says, can Honorable Balaam also pay a visit to Namutumba district because there is too much embezzlement in the service commission of the district, at the district, and also in many schools, mainly secondary, government-aided schools. Someone says, Vibes Montana says, don't overwork Balaam. He is busy in Pakwach. I have taken that Vibes Montana, and gentlemen, we need to be getting out of here. I need us to circle back as you conclude.
Yes.
Each one of you agree with 30 seconds.
Yes.
So that is 1.5 minutes. Starting with you, Honorable Paul Mwiru, on the question of the place of national dialogue in a political context as we end the show.
Well, for me, because given what is taking place, it is just a clear indication that we are almost becoming a failed state. So the earlier we started engaging, the better. The only question would be, now you dialogue with you, because there seem to be very many power centers within the ruling government. They don't know who exactly is in charge.
Thank you. Dombo.
Politics is about dialoguing. It doesn't require a law, because even if you made the law, even if you went to the structured provisions under the Constitution, every day people must talk to one another. The opposition members prefer talking to each other or across the aisle on issues where there is money and something that will benefit them. But we should go beyond that so that people bring the hearts together and we improve governance in the country and we give hope to the people of Uganda.
The Honorable Dombo.
Raila Odinga won the presidency, but he was made the Prime Minister, Executive Prime Minister of Kenya. I see nothing absolutely wrong with President Museveni reaching out to Bobi Wine and making him the Prime Minister or Minister of Foreign Affairs, even reaching out to Semuju. Because if you have started running, supposing someone else, maybe Mwozi, becomes the next president, will you be in exile for another 40 years? So you should never close the doors for negotiation, no matter how slim it is. And forgiveness is the art of the strong.
Did you tell us last week that you move with your passport?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
Yeah.
Planning to do what?
Should I show you?
No. Why do you keep your passport on you?
It is mine. Because it is mine, I have to move with it wherever I want.
It
is my document.
You told us last week that
because this country is not a safe place. So the moment you have political thinkers running out of the country, it's not healthy. So we need a dialogue so that Bobi Wine can come back, continue with his industry. Semuju can come back to his beautiful home he's trying to sell. Living in exile is not easy. Some of us tried. So we should never close the doors for dialogue. Any sane human being. And President Museveni, you are the strongest. And forgiveness is the art of the strong. He should extend the olive branch first. And Dombo, when you meet him, you tell him I said that.
He's watching.
He's watching, and he also be given.
So you have heard. You should start by forgiving Lukwago, forgiving Besigye, and conditionally releasing political prisoners. We are tired. We have lost election. Let us go home and dig and do other things.
Our time is out. We need to be